Good morning, children. This is A. Manoj Kumar, working in Oxford High School, Uppugunduru. We have been discussing about polar regions. In this session, I will explain you about cloth and craft. We are using different kinds of clothes. Okay, is our suitings, that means clothes, is suitable for tundra regions? No. So that the people who are living in tundra region, they are wearing different kinds of clothes. Who are living in tundra region? Eskimos. In the last session, I explained you on which kind of houses they are living. Generally, the houses called igloos, they are living. Igloos, different kinds of formations, that means different kinds of houses they are making by the availability of wood, somebody making with snow, these igloos. Everything we discussed in the last class. Now come to clothing. Now we are wearing pant and shirt. Is it possible to wear pant and shirt in tundra region? No. We are wearing general shoe. While going offices, generally we will wear black shoe. Then if we wanted to go walking or running, then different kinds of shoe we are wearing. Isn't it or not? But the shoe used by the Eskimos are called as mukluks. What it name? Mukluks, very very important. The Eskimos wear boots called mukluks. Like our clothing, they are also using different type of clothes. Okay, generally it is called as parkas. What is it name? Parkas. Trousers and hooded jackets are called as parkas. These parkas used by who? Yes, Eskimos. These parkas made of animal skin. Remember this one. These parkas made of animal skin. So if you observe it, in our regions, in our areas, different type of clothing we are observing for men and women, isn't it or not? Likewise, in tundra region, they are also wearing different kind of clothing. Men's, they have one style of clothing. Women's, they have one style of clothing. If you see the parkas, men's parkas, then front and back they have long flaps. Front and back they have long flaps. But this is totally different when compared to women's. They have short flaps, front and back side. That only I've written. So the men parkas has a long flaps in front and behind. In winter, the Eskimos wear two layers of clothing. Generally, for us, winter we are wearing coats. Okay, now fur coats we are using. For them, our general we are wearing general type of coats. So if they wear such a coats, is it possible to survive in such a harsh conditions? Not at all possible. That's why two layer clothes, that means two year coats, that is made by animal skin. Okay, now then caribou flaps. Okay, so caribou skin or else seal skins. By using that, they are making the coats. That is a different one. Okay, caribou fawn. Caribou fawn skin is preferred in winter because it is soft and hot. It is soft and warm. So generally in the winter, Eskimos wearing caribou fawn skin. Okay, they are taking about caribou fawn skin and making the coats. Okay, next, the people who are living in coastal regions, coastal groups, so they are wearing seal skins. They are wearing seal skins. So, also if you observe, their clothes also embroidered clothes. They are using embroidered clothes. So, making decorations on their clothes. Embroidered means making decorations on their clothes and beautifully designs we may observe on their clothes. Okay, now whose clothes? Eskimos clothes. We are also, our people also making embroidering on clothes. Likewise, they are also designing embroids on clothes. So by that time, clothes look like very beautiful, isn't it or not? So bone, ivory, wood, and soft stone. By using these ones, bone, ivory, wood, and soft skins, They are used to make small figures of people and animals. Sometimes small kids are playing with the small animal toys and okay, small human beings toys. By using that one, okay, they are playing. They are also making such kind of tools by using bone, ivory, wood, and soft stone. So animals and as well as weapons and tools also they are making by using these bone, ivory, and wood. Okay, tools are carefully carved to fit the hand of the user. Such a way they are designing the tools. These tools will be fitted to, okay, who are using that tools, it is fitted to his hand. Next one, religious beliefs. We have different kinds of beliefs, isn't it or not? Such a way, they are also having different kinds of religious beliefs. Who are having the religious beliefs? Eskimos. The Eskimos believe that spirits control the things. Spirits means souls. What they believe is souls control the things. Then all Eskimo groups believe supernatural power called Sila. They are all believing a supernatural power that is nothing but Sila. Okay, and spirits such as Sedna, they are also believing the Sedna. Sedna is the goddess of health and food, goddess of life, health, and food. Very, very important. Remember this is Sedna. They believe that people and animals have souls that live after death. We are also believing like that. After death, we have some life. Our ancestors, suppose if anybody died by that time, afterwards, some rituals we are performing. Like that, they are also performing some rituals. Their belief is after death, they will live like that. They will feel. Eskimos feel. Each person, family, or group has taboos. Taboos are nothing but bans. Taboo means ban. Eating particular kind of food they are banning. Somebody won't eat such kind of food. In our area, some caste persons they could not eat some kind of food items. That is called a taboo. Shamas. So in the Eskimo groups, shamas are playing very important role. Actually, these shamas performing the rituals. Marriage time, death time, generally rituals are performing. Okay, na? So these rituals performed by shamas. They believe that shamas had contacts with the spirits. Who believe that? Eskimos believe that these shamas having the contact with spirits. That's why these given much more priority by Eskimos. Shamas use trances, drama, and magic tricks in their performances. Magic tricks performed by whom? Shamas. Such a religious beliefs Eskimos have recreation facilities. We are also Sundays we are going to parks and we are going to cinema theaters and we are going to playgrounds and recreating ourselves. Isn't it or not? Such a way, Eskimos also having the recreation programs. Which recreation programs they have? So they are playing wrestling, racing, harpoon throwing, and other vigorous athletics they are playing. Okay, wrestling, then running, then harpoon throwing, and other strong athletics, difficult athletics they are playing. That is the recreation they are following. Who? Eskimos. So, storytelling, singing, drumming, and dancing parties, and social visits are also common. These are also recreation facilities of who? Yes, Eskimos. We are going for cinema theaters Sundays. For them, no cinema theaters available. So that themselves they are singing, they are drumming, and they are participating in social activities. Then dancing parties they are organizing. In that, everybody participating, enjoying themselves. These are the recreation facilities they are following. Who? Eskimos. Then contacts with the outside world. Who are having the contact with the outside world? Eskimos. But earlier they didn't have much contacts with outside world. Who? Eskimos. Okay, the first Europeans can be seen by Eskimos were Vikings. Vikings belongs to Iceland. Okay, so the first Europeans can be seen by Eskimos were Vikings from Iceland, who established a settlement in Greenland. So this also remember. So contacts between the Eskimos and the Icelanders began about the year 1200 and continued up to the 1400. Okay, when the contacts between the Eskimos and Icelanders began 1200 up to which year these contacts continued 1400, their contacts continued. Okay, then other Europeans began to explore deeper into the Eskimos area after 1576 to 78, when the English mariner Martin Frobisher visited Baffin Island, where Baffin Island located north of North America. Baffin Island is located. So, especially Martin Frobisher, he visited that island. Afterwards, then he explained regarding Eskimos and the way of lifestyle of Eskimos to outside world. Everybody attracted to listen Frobisher words, and they so many persons started their journey to go that world, Eskimo world. That means Tundra region. Okay. Then some mariners, they started to go northwestern side to identify the sea route to China. By that time, some Eskimo groups observed these persons. Okay. By 1728, the Russians had arrived in Siberia and northern Alaska. Okay. By which year Russians had arrived in Siberia? 1728. Russians had arrived in Siberia and northern Alaska. After 1850, arrival of the Europeans and Americans, whalers and fur traders brought many changes. These American and European whalers and fur traders brought many changes in that particular areas. Some pros and cons happened among the Eskimos due to their arrival. Okay, now some advantages and disadvantages occurred due to their arrival. So, especially they purchased fur from the these Eskimos, and they paid money, or else they given rifles and other items to Eskimos, sophisticated items to Eskimos. Then they brought diseases also. Okay, by that time Eskimos having good health, whenever they came to here, somebody settled down, diseases also spread, tuberculosis, then chickenpox, smallpox, pneumonia, like that diseases occurred due to the low capacity, low strength of the Eskimos. That means the immune system. I am talking about immune system of Eskimos. They are having low immune system. So many people died due to these diseases, especially which people? Eskimo people. So why diseases spread? Due to the arrival of the foreigners, they settled down, so that automatically diseases also spreaded. Actually, technically, it is called as boom or bust. Later words I will explain you. Then Eskimos worked for whalers and sold furs to the traders. That is common. Especially they are skilled in hunting the whales. Who? Eskimo groups. They are hunting caribous. They are hunting seals. They are skilled persons in that regard. So they are selling these furs through those traders. Outsiders brought new diseases. Just now I told you the patterns of relation between the Eskimos and outsiders has been described as boom and bust. Very, very important. Boom and bust. Modern fur trade, which here boom or bust means what? So that is the development as well as demise, underdevelopment. Okay na? So boom means developmental aspect, bust means underdevelopment aspects. Whenever these foreigners arrived, then their life system totally changed. Eskimos life system totally changed. These Eskimos adopted foreigners' way of life. Okay, now then see, modern fur trade happened mainly in the year of 1925. Then building of military and defense bases 1950s, established by the foreigners in the year of 1950. Then oil exploration started in that particular area in the 1970s. So these are the important developments happened in tundra area. Tundra area. So till many countries they are going and establishing their defense bases or else experiment bases and experimenting on that area regarding, okay, now that regarding that soil which resources are okay inside of that area is located, then what is the lifestyle of Eskimos, regarding that the explorations are taking place. This is all about the polar regions. Okay, so up to now the introduction part, then the regarding Eskimos, their housings, their way of life, their religious beliefs, then their recreation facilities. So everything we discussed up to now. So examination point of view, this fourth chapter is very important. You try to read each and every line from the fourth lesson. You have a number of bits from the fourth lesson. Okay, na? So you have any doubts, then raise your doubts. Next session I will clarify your doubts. Okay, thank you.